បាទជំរាបសួរទូរទស្សនិកជនជាទីមេត្រីបាទសូមស្វាគមន៍មកកាន់កម្មវិធីជោគជ័យជំនះរបស់កូនខ្មែរយើងបាទហើយថ្ងៃនេះយើងមានសេចក្តីសោមនស្សរីករាយយ៉ាងខ្លាំងដែលមានកូនខ្មែរយើងម្នាក់ដែលមានទេពកោសល្យខ្ពស់ហើយចេះជាច្រើនតាំងពីតូចមកហើយនាងបានសិក្សាខាងប្រដាល់ក្រុមប្រដាល់ដូចជា Brazilian ហើយនិង Philippines ហើយនិងខ្មែរផងហើយនឹងអាមេរិកកាំងផងហើយឥឡូវនេះបានធ្វើការមួយដ៏ធំបន្ទាប់ពីចេញពីធ្វើការឲ្យទាហានពួកអាមេរិកកាំងមកបាទហើយថ្ងៃនេះយើងសូមអរគុណដល់Leaphy Khim យ៉ាងខ្លាំងដែលបានចំណាយពេលដ៏មានតម្លៃមកចូលរួមធ្វើកម្មវិធីនេះជាមួយនឹងខ្ញុំបាទជំរាបសួរ Leaphy សុខសប្បាយ
ចាជំរាបសួរអស់លោកអរគុណ
បាទ thank you very much for spending time with us today and I know you're busy and but yeah, but thank you very much for spending your time here today. And before we're going to go back to your question, I want to introduce you to the audience a little bit of so that way. I'm pretty sure that the majority of the people probably know who you are because you're all over the Facebooks and everywhere else, right? But we want to introduce to our older audience that they are not using Facebook, mostly quiet TV audience, so that way they know who you are. Okay. But Leaphy was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to a Cambodian genocide survivor. At a very young age, she was taught the importance of her culture, language, and tradition. She was raised to be strong, independent, and self sufficient. Her parents value education and relentlessly drill into her head to be the best at anything she wished to pursue in life. For 8 years, she enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. Her proudest achievement was when she was deployed with a military joint task force in aid of a humanitarian project in Macaracas, Panama. She helped with the construction of multiple classroom and community centers in a small town outside of Panama City. Today, she remains passionate in helping people from all walks of life. She is energetic, highly motivated, and hardworking with a strong commitment to help and empower people to lead a healthy lifestyle. She offers martial arts and basic self-defense classes. In addition, Leaphy helped military veterans by connecting them with benefit resources, counseling, and linking them with different community organizations. With her extensive background in fighting and weapon combat training, she practiced her craft in Hollywood as an actress and stuntwoman. Discipline she specialized in including kickboxing, Western boxing, eskrima, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Her most notable role was in Let It Go, in which she was awarded Best Actress at the GI Film Festival in 2018. Her most current projects include co-star role and stunt work on ABC, The Brookie, and Grey Anatomy. In summary, Lepe is strong, dedicated woman with compassionate side that is not afraid to drop everything and lend a helping hand. Wow. So it's amazing. You're in the Marine and you learning all of these fighting techniques and everything else and you are a woman. It's amazing. So let me ask you a little bit when you were like in the kindergarten or in junior high or something, did you when you go to school at the time did you get picked on or bully or anything like that because you're an Asian kid?
No, not at all. I was very outgoing. I was a tomboy. Um, I had I had, three brothers, so I was always very active. We would run around, climb trees. And in school, um, I was like that too. I just run around with the kids a lot, and I've always loved physical activity. I'm always running and doing things. And I think that's what translate into what I do now a lot. So I'm always active.
Oh, that, no wonder nobody messed around with you. Right?
Oh, or they try
um,
to. Probably. No.
So when did you begin your kickboxings, and when did you begin your interest in kickboxing in the martial art area?
I wasn't interested into the I was into martial arts until at an older age, probably right in the during the military. Because when I joined the military, you know, you have to learn their special defense, their martial arts, and so leaving the military, I just end up really liking it so much that after I got out, I just ended up doing kickboxing, just more of striking. I like to punch, I like to kick. It wasn't just until recently I started doing more grappling with jujitsu. Um, but yeah, I've just always, you know, a fond of martial arts. I think it just makes me feel invincible, and I feel as though um, it kind of makes me into a ninja of some sort, and that's the reason why I like it.
That sounds really good. What about in high school? Did you go to the U.S. Marine after high school, or was it after college?
So I enlisted in the Marine Corps right after high school, right when I was 18 years old, because during that time 9/11 happened, and I wanted to serve my country. But at the same time, I actually had a scholarship to college. So the Marines offered what's called a reserve program, and that's pretty much where you're able to go to boot camp after high school, but and then you come back and go to college. But then after the first year of college, every year after that, you went to some sort of training in the military. So you're pretty much contracted with them for 6 to 8 years. And that's so instead of a full time going into the military, I was a reservist for 8 years.
Oh, I see. So, what did your parents say when you say, I want to be I want to join the American Army? I mean, because as a parent, I mean, you are a woman, you're not a guy, and when you say, you want to join an army, a parent wouldn't say, you know what, rethink that. What did they say at the time?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll be quite honest. My dad didn't talk to me. I think he didn't talk to me for 3 months when I told him I enlisted because I did it without his permission. Of course, I don't think any parents would be okay with that. I mean, especially during that time when I went in and the world is, you know, we're all going in war. My parents was just really not only scared for me, but you know, they're just worried. But I did it because I just knew I wanted to be someone different. Like I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to just go straight to college and get a degree. I wanted to fight, and even though my dad didn't talk to me, my mom was very supportive of it. Um, I mean, she was. You can tell she was hesitant, but she was telling me that I'll be okay and stuff like that. So after boot camp, after I survived boot camp, I think that's when my dad was really proud of me and he talked to me again. So yeah.
I mean, I would be any parent, Asian parent, basically. I mean, would not, first of all, you are a woman. You're not a guy. If it is a guy, maybe okay. You're a
Right.
woman, and you get into a military. A military in here, you could deploy to an unknown world. It could be somewhere in Iraq. It could be somewhere very dangerous. And plus, a parent is always care for their kids, and that's that's our job is. But when you say you're enlisted and you're a woman, I would do the same thing as your dad.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
I don't blame him at all for being upset with me. Like I said, I
yeah.
didn't ask him. I just did it. I signed the paper and said, "By the way, I'm going," and he was just like, "What?"
Yeah. So how was boot camp? Was it like tough and very very hard
It
endurance?
was. It was. Boot camp was. I would say it's. it's tough physically, um, but for me, mentally, it wasn't that bad, because I've already kind of grow up with a tough childhood, and I think that going into boot camp with a mentality and being prepared that this is just training and that it's not personal, like the way the drill instructor is going to treat you, or they're being mean and stuff like that. You have to mentally tell yourself, like, they don't know you, you know just go there, do what they tell you to do, be disciplined, don't get in trouble, then you'll be fine. They won't mess with you. So that's the mentality part of it. So if you have that mental mindset, you're fine. Physically, on the other hand, it's very tough for sure. But the same thing, if you prepared yourself before going to boot camp, like running, and kind of sort of working out, you'll be fine too. So I think the if anything, you might think that I'm joking here, but I actually think boot camp was actually fun for me. Just because, yeah, it was. It's because I was young, but you're learning so many different skill set. You learn how to shoot, you learn how to swim, you learn how to go camping. You learn how to dig your own poop hole or sleeping hole. You and then not only that, you end up meeting so many wonderful people. Like for me, girls, of course, girls who during these training we learn to sacrifice and for each other. You build a sisterhood and a camaraderie that I don't think you'll really get that anywhere else, right? I mean, you do these type of training where they're like, don't leave any men or women behind. So and you get that from those type of training, and that's the reason why to be honest with you, I love being in the military. And I'm really glad that I did it.
Boot camp sounds like your playground, basically.
It's,
Right?
it's it really.
Uh, um, yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit more. Okay? ពីកម្មវិ
Okay.
ធីសូមសម្រាប់และសិនបាទបាទសូមស្វាគមន៍ត្រឡប់មកវិញបាទ um I know that it sounds, easy for you to go through boot camp, but I watch, I watch TV, and then some of the TV you see all of those those trainings and everything that's really tough. You have to kind of like crawl under the barbed wires and go through the trenches, like a whole bunch of dirt and everything is around you. Are those something like that you experience in the boot camp?
Oh, definitely. Yes, you do experience those really hard obstacle course where you're training in the rain with a rifle, um, crawling through mud under barbed wires, climbing through walls and stuff like that. It is really tough, especially for me because I'm really short. I'm only 5'1". So you know, in training, I would have to try to go faster and jump higher than most other people would, and so it was really hard for me. Those are definitely a big challenge for me in the military, but
I
I did
I,
it.
I think it sounds like you require a lot of strength, mentally and physically, to do the boot camp,
Yes, I agree.
right? And since the boot camp is, it's kind of like your playground, you make it really easy because what it is, the most important part is what you like, and when you do something that you like, everything it's not a problem. If you do something that you don't like, that's a difficult part. And I guess because you like fighting, you like all the physical, all the activity, then it there's no problem for you in the boot camps. So when you leave the boot camp, do they send you somewhere, or is it the first time they deploy you, or you just stay in the state?
When you said that when I leave boot camp, so after boot camp, basically, you go to a unit where so that's going to be your new home. So I was stationed in Pennsylvania for the majority of my contract in the military, and it's a small unit, but right there, I'll do training with them, and sometimes every month or so they'll we'll go to the field in Jersey or Delaware, or it might be in North Carolina. So it depends on what their training is, either if it's going to train at the rifle range or just to play catch the flag, outside camping. So whatever they do is they train you to prepare yourself for war. So and that's what you do throughout the time that I was in the military.
Any moment that you feel, oh, I'm scared that they deploy me to Iraq or anywhere at all? It's like, or you just like normal, no scare at
Uh,
all.
no, no, it's definitely not normal. If that's the case, I can't imagine. No, actually, the first year after I finished boot camp, I want to say 4 months after I finished boot camp, our unit got activated to go over to Iraq, and I was still new. I was still a private in the military, so of course I was really nervous and I was really scared. But at the same time, I felt like, well, this is why I joined. Um, but what ended up happening was I didn't end up actually having to go to Iraq, just because of the fact that I was still new and I didn't feel fully finish all my training yet. So what they ended up doing was, even though our unit was activated overseas to Iraq, I had to stay in the rear, which just means that I stay in the base and kind of help out with um, just whatever duties that the unit have. So yeah, so I pretty much just still went on to a different training while our unit was overseas.
That's seems good and well, lucky and good. I mean, I feel. I mean, I went to have lunch the other day with with actually with John. I went to have lunch
Oh,
with John in a restaurant in Cyprus, and after I almost finished, and then there's a couple of army walked in and have lunch. And for me, I always like the armies that they they sacrifice their life, their everything to help the country. So when they walk in, I just when I walk out, I just go and say, I'm gonna take care of your lunch meal, okay? And take care of you. So because that's how is it, because I mean, when you get deployed, you just don't know. It's an unknown territory. It's an unknown of everything. As you know, that's what I think when what was it? Early when did we withdraw from Afghanistan? You see, there's a bomb. There's a suicide bomber that's killed 10 U.S.
most
Army.
recently, 10 military. Actually, no, it was mostly Marines, and I think there
Yeah,
was a couple army. But yeah, 11, was it 11 or?
they were really young. They were really young. I feel really, yeah, I feel really sad for them and for their family. Because that's, I mean, I'm pretty sure that probably their first duty, and it probably the first time, and it's just the beginning of their life, and it's just unfortunate that happened. So I mean, I'm really proud of all of the Marine, the Army, everybody that sacrificed their lifetime to defend the country. So, but anyway, we also thank you too for sacrificing your time to defend the country. So so when did you start to train martial arts and what escrimas and jiu-jitsu? Did you when you finished, when you eight after you serving 8 years?
Um, yes, definitely when I got out of the military, but I think when I really started martial arts training is when I started working for the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Champion. I was working for Fox Production, and they, with broadcasting the Ultimate Fighter Championship. I was watching it, and I'm sorry, I was working it, and I realized I was like, well, I want to learn more about the sport. I want to learn like the technique. I because eventually at that time I wanted to be a producer. So it's good to know what kind of like the terminology of what they're doing. What a kimura is, what the different styles of it, and so I started taking martial arts to do that. But I realized I actually end up really liking it a lot, especially kickboxing, just because um, I don't know. There's something about punching and kicking something. It's
Breaking
stress
other people's
relief.
bones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not only a good workout, but I feel like it's a great self defense, and the biggest one, I think it helps with confidence. You kind of feeling as though that you can protect yourself, especially as a woman. I feel like I'm able to walk out on the streets with my, head held high, and not be a victim, I guess. And so that's the reason why I really like kickboxing. And eventually, going from kickboxing, I started learning, different martial arts like boxing. Um, I was training, like my coaches were actual, champions in boxing, and then eventually I realized like there's more to martial arts, like well, grappling, and that's how I started doing jujitsu a few years ago, and I'm still picking up little things here and there. Um, so yeah, I don't think it's a ever never ending cycle. So yeah, and I
Of
really like
course,
it.
learning. Yeah, learning is never ending. Were you a reporter, or what did you do with the network, the
I
Fox network,
started
the UFC?
I started as a PA, a production assistant, like
Oh,
most people, and then I got promoted to being like an associate producer. So, which is a cool job because what I ended up doing was during the fights, I was sitting in the editing room, basically watching the fight. And so every time, so when the fight is on live, I would just basically clip off highlights, like good highlights of punches, kicks, KOs, all that good stuff. So, clip them off. So, and then we actually send that package to our editor so that they can start putting like B-roll together for the producers. So when they start going on those post-production interviews, when they talk about like, oh, did you see what happened? Blah blah blah. They put in that B-roll that I just made. Well, the editor just made, but something that I just put together because as I'm watching the fight. So yeah, so that was a fun job because not only I get to watch the fight for free, but I'm learning these cool martial art moves at the same time.
it sounds like that's what make you interest in the martial art area, I guess. That kind of like lead you into that area. That's why you like it, and then when you like it, and when you try it, you like it even more, right?
Right.
And that's
Right.
how
Yes.
you train it. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
We're
Yes.
gonna take another quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna continue to your current career with Hollywood and stuff like that. Okay? Vì kami thi som sabra một plats and back. But សូមស្វាគមន៍ត្រឡប់មកវិញបាទ how did you happen to get into the actress area here? I mean, is that you know somebody, or they just see you fighting, or how did you get into the entertainment area now from that? Or to be a stunt, I guess, right? First time, be a stunt or be an actress first.
Actually, yes, stunt is first. Yes, correct. But so I remember how I told you I went to school, to college. Well, I actually, graduated college, and what I was pursuing was actually I wanted to work in the industry. I wanted to work in the entertainment. At that time, I wanted to become a director or produce something. So when I was working for Fox UFC, I was also working as a freelancer, doing working as a PA, production assistant on other programs, other shows, and I was doing that for a few years. I just know that I wanted to work in the business, but I didn't necessarily knew I wanted to be an actress or a stunt woman, because at that time I just wanted to work in the movie business or TV. um, the moment that I did wanted to become a stunt woman was because I just basically on set, I always feel as though like the stunt folks were the coolest people on the job, just because they come in, they do their crazy skill work, whatever it is, fighting or jumping off a building or crashing cars into something, and then they're done for the day. So it's like, I want that job. Like I just think it's so cool. Like they were kind of like the coolest kid, on in the group. So when I was working on set, how it started was I just started asking all the stunt people, like, how do you get in? How do you become a stunt woman? Or, how do you do it? And they all said the same thing. And basically, in order to become stunts, you kind of almost have to go into the acting side of it, which is you have to get your SAG card, which is, SAG AFTRA is our union. Um, so I said, okay, well, I'm gonna do that. I guess I'll, figure out how to be an actress, and the good thing was that since I've been working in this business for a while, I was able to talk to a lot of, network with friends who were writing a show or writing something. And basically, I was helping produce a show, and also they kind of write me into one of their shows. And that's how I end up getting my SAG card. And once you have that SAG card, it's kind of like the golden ticket, because once you get that card, um, stunt people are able to hire you, to do stunts on a show, because they can't hire you if you're not in the union. So once I got that card, I pretty much, started marketing myself. I started, going all to these stunt workshops or these stunt not just parties, but basically when I say workshop, meaning that there's some sort of training, and they'll be doing all sorts of, like, might be martial arts or, you know, burning or driving a car and all that stuff and reactions. And basically that's when you kind of pass out your resume. And even though I didn't have anything much on my resume, you can show them what you're capable of doing. Like for me, it was martial arts. So, I have friends who were able to film me, fighting, doing basic stunts like falling, tripping over stuff. And eventually, the more you do it, and the more you network with other people, people start remembering you. People start saying like, oh, if there's a role that says, oh, we need someone who's between 5 foot to 5'3", who's able to, you know, fall onto something. And they're like, oh, I know a girl. She was just here. And that's really how you get into the business. At least for stunts. It's, yeah, it's like the word who you know, but the thing is you have to put yourself out there. And I think that and this is an advice I would give later on to people who want to be in this business, is that, with social media nowadays, you take take advantage of that. Start. because that's such a free marketing for yourself, that you can just put yourself out there, and then click on all the people that are within that business, and they'll eventually be like, oh yeah, there's this girl on Instagram that all she does is really cool martial arts, so let's hire her for a show. And for me, that's how I got started, and so I'm working my way there, so yeah.
That sounds very good. Seems like you create your own profile and you ask people around, and then you market yourself. You kind of like just walk right into the industry without much guidance, but from a little, friend here and there that you ask, and with
Hmm.
your profile, and then you just add marketing yourself. And once you get land one job, and then they just,
It keeps
get to the
rolling.
second one, the third one, and just keep rolling. And I guess
Yep.
that's how you do it. You build from the ground up rather than start it from the top, because you have to build from the ground up. You can't go from the
Right.
top because you're not a daughter of a top producer. If it is a daughter
Right.
of a top producer, then it's easy, right? But
Right.
if something like this, which is really good, that's how you build your foundation with all the different network with the people. And then once you get that stronger foundation, you can easily climb up and build yourself into the next one. So you also star in the current, is it currently air right now, the Grand Army, or is it already past episode? Is that on every episode that you
No, no, it
star
was
in?
past Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, it was a past episode. But you can, with things that are streaming right now, you can actually watch it on one of the stream. I don't remember which. I think Grey's Anatomy is probably on Netflix, and I think Hulu, but I'm not sure. But The Rookie as well. Like, I was on a couple episodes on The Rookie. But the funny part is that, um, as a stunt person, they'll say that you're doing your job if your face is not noticed. So you'll probably see my action, but you'll probably not won't you won't see my face in it. So
Oh, but which part
yeah.
is that you act? Also, Let It Go, right? Is the one that you act?
Let It Go was the first time I've ever acted in my life. So and that was really cool because it was originally a student film. So, the director, she was in film school, and put together this short film, and it's about military. It's about survivor's guilt, and so she reached out to me, and asked me if I wanted to play a small role. And again, at that time, I was like, sure, why not. But what's kind of neat was that this small role turned into a bigger role, because she realized, like, she wanted, because the lead character was supposed to be a male character, but I guess she really liked me a lot, that she changed her script, and decided that the lead character should be a female going through survivor's guilt. And I was like, sure, that's great. And so we shot that in a couple days, and again, at that time, I thought it's a student film. Where will it go? Besides her school. But she actually was awesome, and ended up sending that short to a lot of other films festival, and it got picked up by a few. And one of them was the GI Film Festival, which was sponsored by a lot of military. So it was a big thing, and to be nominated for Best Actress, at first I was like, "There's no way," I was like, "Oh, cool," I wasn't expecting. I didn't bother writing a speech, just because I was like, "Come on," like, I don't know, I didn't think I was good at it. Um, but what's crazy though is that when I did that short, um, I kid you not, but when I got hired for that short, my dad passed away 2 weeks before that, so I wasn't sure if I was gonna do it. But and then my family, my siblings, kind of talked me into it, and said, like, look, you'll make dad proud if you do it. And since it's about someone who was grieving, I thought it'd be kind of perfect to channel that. And it did work. It actually worked, because I just remember, if you watch the movie, um, there's a part where she cries because she's grieving the loss of her friend. And let's just say, for my first acting, I didn't think that I was going to be able to cry so much. But I guess, like I said, I channeled in my grief during my dad passing away just recently. Before that, I think it helped. So thanks, Dad. but but
So
yeah,
that's
that's how.
so you kind of like remember what happened to you. Remember that your dad passed away, and that memory will allow you to cry on set, which is make
Yes,
it look more genuine. I would
yes,
think, right? Yeah.
yes.
The, I think the writer make the best choice and the right decision by changing from male to female, because I would there's so many film out there would be a lot of a male lead character that in kind of like something like that. But once you change that, I think it's a lot better than the male character.
So we only took about, I can't remember if it's 2 days to shoot, but it was really like, it was a simple setup. But
Mhm.
again, that was the first time I've ever be in front of the camera and being as vulnerable as I am, at that time. And I'm really glad I did it.
That's good. How many stunt that you do so far with the networks and stuff like that? Is that like a lot of different movie or TV show series?
Because most of the stunts that I do is actually doubling an actress.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
unfortunately, you won't see my face. So
that's
they'll show the face of the actress, but then the hard hitting part, it's cut to me of or lying down or face covered or something like that, and then they'll cut back to the actress. But I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty much how it is, and I'm totally fine with that, just because
yeah.
you know, I if anything, I think the job of being a stunt is a lot cooler, anyways. So
Well, something that you like, it's always cool. We're gonna take
yeah.
another quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna conclude the show. Okay, so ពីកម្មវិធីសូមសម្រាប់មួយផ្លែតសិនបាទ បាទសូមស្វាគមន៍ត្រឡប់មកវិញបាទ Leapy, right now we got into the last part of these shows now, and time is running out very fast. What is your plan in the future, or do you have any work right now that could lead you into like a big major big film actress or anything like that at all?
Oh, yes. Well, I do have a couple projects that I have already done, but it's not out yet. It's going to be out, and one of them is going to be out in December. So stay tuned to what it is. It's actually going to be pretty big and pretty cool. But as far as another big acting project will be next year. And I'm very excited to talk to you more about that, in the future. But it should be something that will hopefully make me stick out more in the bigger business. Yes.
That's good. That's good. I think we, us, me, and I'm pretty sure that every one of the Cambodian people would really, really proud of you because of what your achievement and with your talent, with your basically it's multi talent, because you're not only doing a regular martial art, you do like all mixed martial art. Basically, I mean, jiu-jitsu is a completely different type of kickboxing. I mean, in Cambodian we use Cambodian or Thai is probably the same thing. It's kickboxing, right? But when you go to
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, it's completely different. And you go to what, Eskima? Eskrima is also completely different. I mean, they fight with weapons, with stick, with knife, with sword, with everything, and yeah, and you done all of that. You done all of that. That's amazing, and it probably not a very long period of time. You done it in how long does it take you to get to grasp all of those mixed martial art? I mean, from what escrimas to kickboxing to American boxing to jujitsu. That's like four different styles there.
I would say right now it's been 10 years that I've been learning a lot of all those martial arts, and still learning. I'm not nowhere near a black belt or anything like that. So, and I'm not going for belts. I'm just going to learn the craft, and hone it. So,
You learn for the show basically, right? Because what the show need you, that's what you learn. Yeah, I think the most important part is doing what you like. When you do what you like, it seems a lot easier. It's everything. It's kind of like fall into place. It's you pick up much quicker because you like what you do. Um, so so the big is it well, I guess you probably cannot talk, right? Something that is going to become. Is it like a big feature film movie or something in coming out in December?
yes, it is.
Is it?
I do play a role. It's actually it's a stunt role, but the thing is, you will see my face in it. So, and
Oh,
it is going to be, I wouldn't say, I don't know if it's a blockbuster, but it is going to be a movie. And it's right now slated to be in December, and it's a comedy. So it's a different light. So it's going to be a funny, a funny character that you'll see instead of the serious fighter that I normally am. So,
so what is your what is your plan on in the Hollywood? Is it like more a stunt than an acting, or more acting than a stunt now that you kind of like you see yourself in the Hollywood now, right? Before you were just trying to get in, so you do a lot of things. So now are you kind of like focusing to more of an acting or more of a stunt?
to be honest with you, I kind of want to do both, just because, I don't want to turn down any opportunities. And, you know, right now in the business, a lot of actresses and actors have done their own stunts, vice versa. Stunt people are being asked like if you can say a few dialogue. So I almost want to say it's starting to become a hybrid between the two. So instead of picking one or the other, I honestly would like to do both. And hopefully, like the movies like Marvel, I want to be an action actress, an actress that know how to kick ass. So if anything, that would be my dream goal.
Probably an Asian Scarlett Johansson.
That would be great. Yes, yes, that would be
Yeah.
great.
Does she do her own acting stunt too? I guess. Do you know?
Oh no, not at all, not at all.
No.
No, she has a stunt woman. Probably a lot of stunt women, but there's one
Body double.
that doubles her, and she's amazing.
Yeah.
And the way I see it is that I think some actors do have to train a little bit to make the action real, um, or believable. So I wouldn't discount actors or actresses, that they don't do anything, and they just let their stunt double do all the work. I just think that they don't do to the proficient level as what the movies are showing, kind of like Wonder Woman. Like I think she has probably 10 stunt women who did her, but at the same time, she was in the Israel army. So I mean, she's a toughie too. So I just think that, Hollywood need to also give stunt people, their pride, that they're in the business as well.
I think the stunt these days also get a lot of help from the computers. CGI. The computer can help them a lot with a lot of different things, right? With a green screen in the background, with a what is it, the cable pull them up so that they can jump
Uh,
high. That
yeah,
Yeah, so they
yeah.
use a
I
lot
mean,
of
there's
those to help.
yeah. I mean, they definitely do. I mean, and I mean, I'm pretty sure you know with the movies these days, I think that you'll notice the difference. I mean, you can tell that if it's like a old Jackie Chan movie or if it's like something from the Matrix, so it's quite different. So, but I guess
Yeah.
it just depends on what kind of production it is.
Yeah, I guess our program come to the conclusion now. Do you have any kind of like inspirational word that you can give to our audience out there, that how they have to work hard to get to where you are, and hopefully you're gonna get to be a big movie star in Hollywood one of these days.
Yes, I just want to say that when I do get, fans or people who ask me, how I got into the business, I just want to say it's a hard process, but it's not impossible. Anyone can do it, and you just have to really work hard. Know that's what you really want. Do a lot of research, talk to a lot of people, um, and just go for it. Like I mentioned earlier about social media, don't be shy. Put yourself out there, because I was always told that if you don't put yourself out there, no one's going to know who you are. If film and TV, if that's something that you want to be in, put yourself out there, learn, read a lot of plays, or learn and or go to school for acting, and just to get more advice and tip. Like for me, sometimes I just go on YouTube. There's classes online now, so you don't even have to pay a lot of money. I'm just saying from my experience. I'm not saying that for everyone. I'm just saying, do your research. There's resources out there, and I think that if this is what you want to do, you can do it. We need more representation in our community, so let's do it. I just want to say thank you so much for following me and supporting me through my journey in this career and in my life. It really means a lot to me. And also thank you to my family and friends who have pushed me and to doing what I love. And I just hope and pray that in the future I'll be able to do more and make you guys proud of me. Yeah, Akon so much.
We thank you very much for spending your time with us today, and we good luck to your endeavor. Good luck to your future, and we will talk with you again soon. Hopefully, when the big movie comes out in December or something, right? Hopefully, you can come back and join us again this time. Yeah. But សូមអរគុណដល់ទូរទស្សនិកជនទាំងអស់ដែលបានតាមដានទស្សនាខ្មែរ TV បាទសូមជូនពរឲ្យទូរទស្សនិកជនទាំងអស់ជួបប្រទះតែសេចក្តីសុខ ប្រកបមុខរបររកស៊ីមានបានហើយមានសុខភាពល្អបរិបូរណ៍គ្រប់ក្រុមគ្រួសារបាទពីយើងខ្ញុំទាំងពីរនាក់សូមអរគុណនិងសូមជម្រាបលាបាទ
자, 드렸어요. Akon, 자.